The Genesis G70 is gigantically imperative for its producer. A game's car-boring outsize desires that it can stake a place for the incipient Korea and extravagance mark as a contender against the built-up players. In any case, even Genesis itself concedes that the world needn't bother with more extravagance autos. The world is fine without Genesis, Mark boss Manfred Fitzgerald let us know, and accordingly the organization says it should be challenging and to make its items extraordinary and attractive. While the bigger G80 and G90 as of now at a bargain are great, they don't break any new ground, and their ancestries incorporate Hyundai-badged predecessors. The G70 line begins under Genesis, and that reality, alongside its more extensive target gathering of people, arranges its criticalness. Its aspirations for Genesis drove parent organization Hyundai to poach driving figures from over the business for its official list, including Fitzgerald, who already filled in as the executive of the Lamborghini marque, previous Bentley and Lamborghini plant boss Luke Donkerwalk, ex-GM and fifth-gen Chevrolet Camaro architect Sanapli, and suspension master and previous BMW M head Albert Biermann. Their main goal: make autos that are painfully lovely and drive shockingly better, a goalpost frequently raised by automakers yet once innate while cleared. As you'd expect, Genesis points specifically at the German triumvirate of Audi, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz, and the G70 focuses on those organizations' A4, 3 arrangement, and C-Class. Its 184.4-inch general length and 111.6-inch wheelbase put it appropriate in the wheelhouse. The current F33 arrangement was the dynamic intruder. We don't know we'd have made a similar determination, while the A4 and the C set the bars for refinement and extravagance. We as of late traveled to Seoul to pore over the G70 and drive pre-production models at Hyundai's Namyang demonstrating ground. These photographs demonstrate the Korea spec G70 underway frame. Face to face, the G70 looks neatly composed with couple of fastidious points of interest. We'd scarcely call the auto bold, aside from that entire Korea and race drive sports car expecting to punch Germany in the mouth thing. In any case, this is simply the main vehicle in a line that inexorably will push the expressive envelope. For instance, we're told the GV8 SUV coming in 2019 will be much more brave than the genuinely strong idea demonstrated not long ago. That idea's headlights point to the bearing the brand is taking, with the parallel tuba-like running lights of the G70 filling in as an iterative stride prompting the thin LED-specced segments of the GV80. Donkerwalk says all Genesis lights in the end will be as thin and as splendid as could be expected under the circumstances, and he's quick to relinquish conventional lighting groups, which he mocks as aquariums loaded with crap. Eventually, things will get more daring, as Genesis vehicles create radical light marks that streak from the headlights, over the bumpers, and toward the main edges of the entryways. The relative absence of plane strength in the G70 not the slightest bit makes it ugly. It's a streaming, athletic-looking thing, more in the shape of Alfa Romeo's Chewy or Infinity's Q50 than the limited BMW 3 arrangement or Audi A4, its 3/4 Cs characterized by complex forms. It likewise isn't generally crafted by Donkerwalk, Lee, and the Genesis configuration group as constituted today. Those two went a headboard just around a year and a half prior, well after the G70's last plan had been solidified, and they were capable just to change the belts and push the roofline a little lower, modifications that Fitzgerald says were major offer assistance. Biermann, having joined the organization before, likely had more impact on the dynamic tuning. The following Genesis item, and the first to be all the more completely shaped by this gathering, will be the cutting-edge G80, which is expected in 2019. Like the lights, the G70's grille is a middle-of-the-road venture toward a brasher look. In the sneak peeks we saw, the future grille both reverberated the focal peak of the Genesis logo and took after the face shield of a Knight's steerage. The shape is like that utilized by Cadillac and Mazda, however Lee disclosed to us the grille inevitably will broaden lower and be bigger by and large than those brands. A support in the lower allow really follows the base without bounds grille's shape. Inside the G70 is a driver-situated cockpit with a sensible format. There's a focal control handle behind the move lever to control the body modes, and a symmetrical focus stack is bested by a de rigueur, bezel-less tablet-style touchscreen. A column of switches beneath this show houses repetitive controls for different infotainment capacities, and a pleasantly etched guiding wheel sits before simple gauges split by a high-res screen. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard. Beginning guarantees loads of wrapped surfaces with at least uncovered plastics even on base models. Numerous inside shading and sewing alternatives will be accessible, including the sewn and punctured stowaway found in a static auto we analyzed. Yet don't search for wood trim on the choices show, it was esteemed to be deficiently lively for this game's car. Aluminum is on the rundown, be that as it may, and genuine stuff is connected all through. We judge forward perceivability to be about normal, with a dashboard that falls somewhat toward the lodging a low cowl over the instrument board. With the proviso that we saw just in exhausting, all beige and all dark shading plans, the lot didn't strike us as particular, yet its style are refined, and the nature of materials is high. The U.S. advertised G70 will offer a couple of motors. A turbocharged 2.0-liter inline-4 evaluated for 252 strength and 260 pounds-to-foot of torque, and a twin-turbocharged 3.3-liter V6 useful for a heavy 365 pull and 376 pounds-to-foot. Yields are surmised. Correct U.S. showcase specs won't be settled until right on time 1 year from now, in front of a March or April at a bargain date as a 2019 model. Both will be accessible with back or all-wheel drive, and all models additionally get a restricted slip-raise differential as standard. The same Hyundai composed 8-speed programmed from the G80 is standard no matter how you look at it, though with particular programming, in spite of the fact that the US may likewise get an uncommon treat in a first-year just 2.0T with a manual transmission. On the off chance that happens, credit Genesis US ARM, which we're told asked for the combo. When combined with the 3.3T and put into sport mode, the all-wheel drive framework is said to be more hesitant to move torque from the back in light of a legitimate concern for driving fun. Says Behrman of this convict, it likely wouldn't be in the auto without me. Since 1, 2, or 3 aren't sufficient any longer, the G70 will have 5 skeleton modes: Smart, Auto, Normal, Custom, Eco, and Sport. These influence controlling weight and reaction, throttle alignment, motor note, and programmed move focuses on all autos, all-wheel drive conduct on those models, and damper movability on 3.3Ts, which have a flexible suspension. These dampers may be discretionary on the 2.0T. All G70s highlight dispatch control and brake-based torque vectoring, where an inside wheelless brake to energize revolution. The AWD framework, which includes about 130 pounds paying little respect to motor, sends 100% of accessible torque to the back, of course, moving snort forward as required. We don't have control weights yet surmise front, raise weight dispersions are asserted to be 52-48% for the back drive 2.0T, 53-47 for the 2.0T AWD, and 55-45-ish for the 3.3T. The G70 rides on a shorter rendition of a similar engineering utilized by the Kia Stinger. In examination with that auto, the Genesis is 5.8 inches shorter in general, 0.8 inch smaller, and a similar tallness, while riding on a wheelbase paired by 2.8 inches. We drove the Korea Spec 2.0T with both back and all-wheel drive, which contrasted from what we'll see here essentially in guiding tuning, which wasn't yet concluded, and in addition ride consistence and tire fitment. Both of these were 225/45 R18 Bridgestone RE050 as yet will go ahead Michelin MXM4 all-season tires in the United States in light of a legitimate concern for parkway comfort, as the Michelins better retain brutal effects and create less commotion. The 4-barrel moans a bit and needs character, and, despite the fact that the transmission changed riggings easily and was all-around modified in this application, it required last clean to determine some incidentally reluctant movements. Fast directional changes inside immediately assembled body roll, yet nothing in the method for lolling or forward and backward bouncing. The 2.0Ts displayed more brake plunge and increasing speed squat than we lean toward. A firmer suspension adjustment expected for the US should settle those. Concerning work in advance electrically helped controlling, the back driver's rack was numb and Endeavor's exorbitantly light. Shockingly, the all-wheel drive auto had more feel and better weight with more unsurprising development. American G70s, Behrman guarantees, will have all the more controlling heave and more on-focus feel. The V6 auto we drove had raise-wheel drive and was a U.S. centered dynamic edition wearing 225/40 ZR19, front, and 255/35 ZR19, raise, Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. It was here that the G70 truly woke up. As it does in the G80 and the G90. This motor sounds pleasingly forceful and easily conveys its energy in an anticipated wave. It doesn't feel exhausted in the scarcest here, the little G70 jumping forward energetically at whatever point you plunge profound into the quickening agent. One issue: the auto would quickly keep on surging forward while discharging the throttle while in sport mode, an alignment issue that we expect will be resolved before G70s achieve clients. The 3.3T's controlling was fantastic, with the most astounding loyalty, brisk yet not excessively enthusiastic handover reactions, and the best weight qualities. We could test all variants for a couple of laps of a short, tight taking care obviously, and got settled rapidly enough to put the auto into effortlessly controllable four-wheel slides. The Dynamic Edition was particularly anxious to play a steady stream,